At 17 years old, I set off to become the youngest person to fly around the world alone. Unfortunately, nothing went as planned.
Guys, I seem to be having a problem. The Inflight Emergency.
That looks more serious.
4 years ago, with nothing but a dream, I decided I was going to beat this record. So I started saving money, finished high school early, found sponsors, modified a plane, and even got insurance. And with everything in place, I finally set off to a terrible start.
We are back at the airport. Sorry if I look a bit frazzled to you guys are tired. Last night, my bird, Soju, that's been with me for the last couple of years and it's flown really everywhere with me and accompanied me, has unfortunately passed away. I had to bury him this morning, so I didn't really have a lot of time to mourn. So I do want to apologize. Someone broke into my car last night and stole my wallet and a pendant that my mom gave me, which is also not very fun. But I do have your keys, so if you want these back, we can make a trade. But today, we will be loading up the plane and testing out the ferry tickets and heading out to Memphis, Tennessee to officially start my trip around the world. Let's get ready to go. Everything's all loaded up. Drop clear!
To be honest, today's been a rough start, but hopefully the worst is behind me.
Okay, engine run-up time, let's go. Up, power in. Throttle all the way to 1500 RPM. Now let's get ready for takeoff. We'll use 20-degree flaps. Full mixture in.
November 182 Whiskey Tango, runway 35, quick takeoff.
Runway 35, clear for takeoff. 2 Whiskey Tango, thank you.
Flight 5 November Lima, roger, pass.
You're quite the heavy plane today, oh my god.
After several years of hard work and a whole lot of setback, I'm finally setting off for my flight around the world. But to be honest, this flight isn't just about a world record anymore. Not long ago, during the final stages of preparation for this journey, my cousin was diagnosed with stage 4 blood cancer. Wanting to help, I put everything on hold and began reaching out to patients, doctors, and charities asking what I could do. By using the publicity from this record-breaking flight, I partnered with St. Jude's Children's Hospital to try to raise $1 million while visiting hospitals and meeting with patients to document the global fight against cancer. That's how Project Flight Against Cancer was born. Hopefully this journey has a chance to make a real difference, and after all the hard work I've put in, I'm just happy to be here.
Okay, I seem to be having problems. My cylinder 2 temperatures are super off. These cylinders here are supposed to be pretty even in temperature, and when there's a big difference in temperature, when one's super high and one's super low, it usually means there's something wrong with it. And since the EGT bit over here, I noticed that cylinder 2, when I was up high cruising Lena Peak, was close to 100 degrees cooler than cylinder 1, which is super big for a fuel-injected engine. So hopefully we can get this fixed up so I can make it tomorrow. Let's wait and find out and see what we can do about it. So I wouldn't say it's an inflight emergency, but I would definitely say this is a cause for me to not continue my flight anymore. Surprise! We've actually managed to make it to Tennessee, and we're almost there, which is honestly quite surprising. So I managed to get a hold of a couple mechanics and talked about what's wrong with the engine and all the possibilities, and we come to the conclusion that I can make it to Tennessee safely, but I would have to get the engine checked out ASAP when I land. So the good news is we're making it to Tennessee. The bad news is I might not be flying tomorrow.
So what's the main issue, what we're looking at?
Right now, most likely you have a valve failure.
A valve failure?
Yeah.
Jesus, and these engines can run without.
Well, now, normally it's because of compression or a burn valve or something.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like a burn valve. That looks more serious. So, like I said, if you keep going, you could actually hurt your engine bad.
Hey,
Peterson.
hey Todd, this is Ethan. I'm at the maintenance shop. I just want to have a couple questions. I'll give you an update on what happened with that plane.
The issue is you could replace that one, but you're not going to want to go anywhere with that airplane until that cylinder's got, Jesus, I mean, at least 15 hours on it. You're going to have to put some time on that jug before it goes.
See that white spot right there?
Yeah.
It's either, that's probably a burn spot or it looks burned to me.
So this is
I can't
crack.
see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah, you don't need to be going across the ocean.
After just one flight into the trip, the plane is no longer flyable, and although we're off to an even worse start, the mechanics said some new cylinders should solve the issue.
But the good thing is we found out the problem nice and early, right at the start of the trip. Cylinders and engine parts, and really aviation parts in general, have all been on back order for the past year. I might be grounded for the next month, so who knows.
By this point, I was supposed to be halfway across Europe, but instead, I'm still in Memphis with 6 new cylinders trying to save my chances at the world record.
We have 6 brand new engine cylinders from Continental. So let's get these guys installed.
Alright, for those of you who don't know how to fix an engine, the first step is to remove the old cylinders.
A normal one's supposed to look like this, but my plane hasn't been running so well, so looks like this.
Step 2 is realize that the engine is completely unrepairable, and I just cost myself over a week of time and maybe the chance to break the world record.
So it seems like a full-on engine, either a full-on engine overhaul or
A repair, which doesn't make any sense. An overhaul, a field overhaul. Yeah, right now you just need to get on the phone and say, what do you got?
Time to make some calls. I'll be back. You just heard it from him. Engine is out. I need a new engine. Camshaft is damaged, cylinders are damaged. Whole thing is damaged, really. So this trip might be delayed for even longer. I thought we had it going. So I'm gonna make some calls around, talk to people, and see what's up, and if we can get a new engine. Hopefully we can, and we can take off before the end of September. But if not, it's not gonna be a very, very fun time.
This was going to cost a lot of money and time to fix, which I don't really have, and to make problems worse, winter's approaching, making the weather unflyable, putting both my world record and plans to raise $1 million to fight cancer at risk.
From what I can tell, the trip's over. It might be an end to the trip, might be another delay. Well, I finally thought I got everything fixed, but I'm gonna call around and see what I can do and see if I can expedite it any faster than it already is. But hopefully we can continue on with this trip.
With the future of this mission looking pretty bleak, I started sending out hundreds of emails and making even more calls, looking for a new engine and any sponsors that would cover the costs. At this point, I felt like anything that could go wrong went wrong, but as I struggled, I was reminded what had inspired me to continue this journey. At the hangar, I met Carlos, a mechanic who moved to Memphis at a young age because his younger sister was seriously ill, and the only people that could treat her was St. Jude's Children's Hospital. This is how your donations are making a difference. I was already too far to give up, so while waiting to hear back from the sponsors, I decided to volunteer with the mechanics, learning how to fix planes, and at the same time help keep the local flight school's planes flying. This way, I could help others chase their dreams while mine were on hold.
Update, I want to go wash my hands and it's not coming off, nor is it coming off my face. So, time to head home and see if I can get off dinner in the shower. See you guys. It's been a good run.
Reach out Continental, they said they were able to get me an engine today. They were able to ship one out instead of standard 1, 2, 3, 4 month wait, which I'm super lucky to have their support, and it's really nice. I'll be flying back home for a couple weeks while they work on the engine. Time to go home.
What's up, E? Man, it's all good though, cause he's coming back, and we're gonna make this a worldwide trip.
The good news is we finally have a new engine on the way. The bad news is I'm really sick and have to go home to the doctors. They basically told me I had to touch grass, so after recovering and even taking the SATs because I promised my parents I would, I came back to see if there's any chance I could still get this world record.
I'm so tired, I'm starving.
I just arrived at the airport and they told me they're currently taking off the engine. They're right about to take it off, pop it on here, and then pop the new engine right back on. And by Friday, we should be good, up and running with the new engine, which is fantastic. So let's get it taken off and a new one on. Morning guys, I'm currently back at the airport. The engine's still not on yet. It's looking like another week or so, but it's okay. Well actually, while they put on the engine, me, Carlos, and John, we're gonna try to finish up the annual for Whiskey Tango. The annual is due every year, it's an annual inspection, and if we don't have it done, legally I can't fly this plane, and it's not due for another 2 months, but I'm gonna do it now, because in 2 months, who knows where I'm gonna be. I could be in Antarctica, I could be in Africa, so we're gonna have to get this done now. So by the time the engine's ready, the whole plane's gonna be all ready to fly around the world.
A few days later, the annual was completed, meaning that after 2 months of working in the hangar, I was finally able to test the engine. Hopefully, the plane doesn't catch on fire.
It's loud. It's so loud. I don't remember it being that loud.
The engine run-up went great, which was amazing news. We're now so close to leaving Memphis and continuing this journey. The only thing left to do is to recalibrate the engine and break it in.
So we got all the engine running and we were just about to run up the engine for the last test run before we take off, right? We were just going to turn on the masters right here. Boom. The plane doesn't turn on. Should we try the ignition switch? The ignition doesn't work either. And so right now, the plane's not turning on, right? So we have a brand new engine, we spent months, everything's all ready, the plane's all ready, and it's just not turning on. Fantastic, so let's try to troubleshoot and figure out what's wrong with this plane. And it turns out we know what's wrong. So if we go to the back right here, this is where the battery and the solenoid that controls if the currency electricity goes through or not. Turns out, from what we believe, is that's broken. And how we test that is you take this, and if you see sparks and the masters turn on, you know the solenoid thing right here is broken and stuck closed. And the master turned on. So basically what this means is that after months of getting the plane ready and annuals and everything, one of the most basic parts of the electric system in the plane failed. So another delay. We're gonna get that replaced tomorrow morning, and hopefully the plane will be ready tomorrow for its first flight in months. We just installed the new solenoid. The plane still doesn't turn on. And so yeah, so we're gonna go troubleshoot for now another couple of hours. After another 5 hours of troubleshooting and checking for the whole plane's electrical system, it turns out the master switch is broken. And one of the wires of the master switch was snapped. So yeah, both the solenoid and the master switch were broken. And after it got replaced and fixed, boom, it turns on now. The plane is back on. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at all those lights. The plane, after 2 days, I can finally fly back home. Finally, the plane will be finally airworthy after 2 months, 2 to 3 months in the hangar.
Today is the day. We finally got the engine all cowed up and we're gonna go flying for the first time. if everything goes all well and everything's all good, the plane's finally airworthy, we can finally go back home. Everything is finally all done. The plane is finally all packed. Followed IFR plan, we're gonna head out. It's been a long 3 months in Memphis, or really this whole area in general. I'll catch you guys up as I fly back to Boston. But yeah, we'll get ready to take off. See you guys.
Before I leave, I want to thank the members of Luke Weathers Aviation for treating me like family, the mechanics for taking the time to teach me, and Rick for giving me a place to stay while I was thousands of miles away from home. After 3 unexpectedly tough months, I'm finally back on the runway. When I first set off, I planned for 80 days, but now I'm heading home without even reaching my first stop. Winter has arrived, and with it, the chance of becoming the youngest person to fly around the world is gone. But honestly, by day 30, I already knew I didn't have much of a chance. Still, I couldn't give up. There's too much at stake. So behind the scenes, I secretly started looking for other options. The goal was never just the record. It was to raise $1 million to fight against childhood cancer, and I knew that the media attention would make that happen. So when spring comes and the sky's clear, I'll be attempting an even more ambitious journey. To become the first person in history to fly to all 7 continents solo, a journey twice as long as the original flight. But just when I thought everything was finally free from setbacks, this happened.